Hello, everyone. Hello. Dale, happy Saturday. Elizabeth, I can't believe you are finally here. It's so nice to have you here. Welcome, everyone. Bärbel, Ike, Kiki, Lisbeth, Tommy, and Fred. It is so nice to have you here. I really enjoy this practice, drawing together every day. Hi, Annette. So good to have you here. Today we're going to be drawing Marsanne, who years ago, I can't remember how many, I think found on TikTok when I was trying to be fairly active on TikTok. And Marsanne was playing piano accordion, and making such cool music. And I was just like, this is amazing. And so I've been following Marsanne for a while, and more recently, if you're on Instagram, there's not a lot to see. It seems fairly curated. There are just 16 posts, but on TikTok there's a lot. And more recently, she's been doing really cool stuff with sampling of sounds and making beats and music with really cool gear. Some of the gear she's using is from Teenage Engineering, which I am familiar with and think, oh, it's so cool. So just taking sounds and then making music with it. And I asked Marsanne if we could draw her, and she said yes, and here we are. Hello, Shannon. Shannon is going to be drawing right after we draw Marsanne. Hi, Cindy and Ute. So let's draw. Yesterday was so good. Thank you to everyone who was here yesterday drawing Marshall Rosenberg. It was really, really good. Thank you to everyone who's participating in this daily practice together, because it's really good. Hi, Kathy. Let's draw. I'm going to put a 10-minute timer on, but I don't know. There's no pressure apart from being ready in time for Shannon's stream, which is going to be in 25 minutes. But I'm focusing on pure line, and it's been really interesting the last couple of days because the continuous line there was so much in the images, and now I'm trying to think about what is pure line in contrast to continuous line. So I'm trying to be pretty minimal and careful with what I'm doing. And I've moved over to my ink spread, and I'm going to be using this Stabilo pen, which I hope still has plenty of ink in it, because I really like these fine liners. They're so simple. It's a 0.4 millimeter. Oh, it says 0.88, and then it says fine 0.4, which I guess it means it's pretty fine. So the Discord server sketches from yesterday are wonderful. Yes, if people aren't already on the Discord server, please come on over and join it, because that's where I share the reference every day, and people share their work there, which is a really wonderful space. Some people don't share on Instagram, and some people don't want to be on Instagram, and maybe you're somewhere else in the internet. And but the Discord server is really cool. So I'll just copy that link and put it in the chat. Yeah, it was so good seeing the drawings that everyone did, and I just love it. So there's the Discord chat. Please join if you haven't already. Buenas noches, Luis. Yeah, Shannon, you can tell us what you're going to be drawing today, and let's start drawing. 10-minute timer, but I don't know, could be a bit longer. So we haven't drawn glasses for a while, have we? We had a week of only glasses. So I've been wondering about this idea of pure line. And this is the drawing tool that I think of, that comes to mind when I think, from my experience, about pure line. This is a fine liner pen, which I have used a lot and I really enjoy. And it's so different to drawing with the calligraphy pen, which is it's all about line variation. Although when I think about it, the calligraphy pen is line variation, but also kind of limited. It's not a lot of different kind of line qualities. You've got really bold and really fine. Oh, is this... I have a bag full of these pens, but all of the black ones seem to be dry, and so I might jump over to a different colour. I was hoping to keep it black, but it looks like it's running dry. How is everyone? What were you doing just before you came here? You can also tell me if you're watching the replay. You can say in the replay what you were doing. Maybe it's 7 years from now, who knows? And you were doing something very different to what I was doing. This is a different pen, and I don't know if it's going to have much more ink. For some reason, my favourite fine liners, I haven't used them much for a while, and they are feeling dry. Shannon will be drawing eyes. Thank you for asking, Kiki. There are none of what I'll be drawing in this reference. You're very welcome. Fred's eating pizza just before this. Cool. I had full grain penne noodles with spinach and chili pesto. That was good. Oh. This pen is not behaving for me, so I'm going to grab this one. This is a brown pen. Someone, once upon a time, a friend of mine who was given a lot of pens, so this is the same, but brown, was given a whole lot of pens, and she is a graphic recorder, a sketch note artist, and she was given a whole lot of pens by Stabilo, and she wasn't using them, so she's like, would you like to have these? And now I have this big bag of pens of lots of different colours, and when my kids come and hang out while I'm working, I give them this bag of pens and let them explore the colours. Oh, Rachel was eating salmon and potatoes, and Uta did the dishes and cleaned the cat's toilets. Excellent. Tomorrow I will be freshening up our rabbit habitats. It just made me think of that. We went for a walk today and we saw someone walking this little dog, which is like just a bit bigger than our baby rabbits and smaller than our adult, our big rabbits. And we're like, wow, look at that dog, it's smaller than the rabbits. Who makes music? Who here makes music? Whether it's playing an instrument or playing with sounds in any fashion, I'd be interested to know, because I really like making music. It's not what I consider to be, I don't know, my main thing. I've never really been... I did build flutes for a while and I played flute a lot, but I never considered myself to be a kind of professional level of any instrument. I like lots of different ones and just play around a bit sometimes, and musical exploration is I find to be a very enjoyable thing, and it's really wonderful seeing people doing really cool stuff like Marsanne. Just really, bringing a really interesting mix of influences and tastes and sounds together. It's really another great thing about social media, just discovering people making really cool music. yeah, and the gear she's using, some of the stuff, like there's this teenage engineering. We have a couple of little pocket operators, which are these tiny synthesizers that look like a kind of like a calculator, and she's got this the knockout synthesizer, but the big version, and it's really interesting, fascinating for me. I don't even really understand synthesizers all that much, but I like the possibility of the creation and the bending of sound, and just being able to take sounds from random things, toys and instruments and video games, as Marsanne does, and she takes all these sounds and then just makes cool music with it. So if you've been following along, Shannon plays guitar, Fred plays guitar. If you've been following along, like this is so different, such a different way of drawing, and maybe when I'm finished I can flip through and just look at some of the other things, but it's really interesting, just like switching into a different way of deciding to make marks, and it's been hard the last couple of days to keep it so minimal. I feel like it's also, interestingly, it feels like it could be a great foundation for like adding color to, or adding some value to, and yeah, it's just such an interesting. It's interesting to mix it up and work in a way which is very different. Like, it was so interesting to go into continuous line mode, and then I was enjoying it so much that it was hard to stop. And now I do enjoy and appreciate the clarity and simplicity of this kind of drawing. It's just so different, and it's interesting to just like shift gear and be like, okay, I loved all of the layering up of exploratory lines and doing all of this different stuff with the continuous line, and now it's like, okay, now just looking carefully, trying to put things in the right place. So this exploration is leading into my upcoming Patreon tutorial, which will be exploring this concept of pure line. So through my experiments in the coming weeks, I'll be looking at different ways to explore the line, maybe ballpoint pen, brush pen, calligraphy pen, which offers a very different kind of idea of what line can be. If people have suggestions, if the idea pure line conjures up anything for you, please let me know. What medium could be interesting to explore this idea of pure line with. I don't have everything, but I have lots of things. Oh wow, that was 10 minutes. What are people saying? Shannon, Elizabeth planted starter shishitos, pepper seeds. Wow, cool. Right, that was 10 minutes, but I'm just going to keep going. It'd also be very different if my whole way of drawing, when I have a very compressed and limited time frame, is also very different. Like, I think a lot of what I do on my Tuesday Zoom sessions, which everyone is invited to join, whether you've been hundreds of times or you've never been, everyone is equally welcome. And it's such good drawing practice. And so for two hours every Tuesday, we sketch each other. But don't be intimidated by that. You can keep your camera off if you want, but you're encouraged to turn it on. And we start with 30-second poses, and then when I'm just like, 30 seconds, and I'll start drawing, and there's not as much kind of premeditation and thought given to the lines that are made. I was talking a bit about yesterday why draw with a time frame, a time limit. It really changes the way I draw. I just kind of like launch into it and just start drawing things. And a lot of those drawings are also very much keep to the this kind of simple line idea. This is a pen that I have used a lot during these quick sketch sessions. So yeah, it's interesting at this point, like with all the line being the same weight, basically, all the same thickness. You can start doubling up lines to emphasize different things, which would be similar to like what the calligraphy pen does, of having the you can accentuate different things by playing with that idea of line hierarchy. And there's something just interesting and minimal and reduced about drawing like this. And I have to hold myself back from like hatching too much. It could be interesting maybe to take because I have so many different colors here. What's this? To maybe take something lighter and I'm not sure. Just had this idea about the shadow shapes. If I just used a lighter pen but stayed to line rather than hatching and shading, how that could be. Dale was reading about pure line, and one person said it was about using only straight lines to create a portrait. Only straight lines? I'm not sure I totally understood that, but it sounded like a lot of lines. Interesting. Elizabeth learns so much just by watching me draw and make the decisions I make. That's so cool. I'm happy to be able to just sit and do things and to share that, and if that leads to some kind of learning, that is wonderful. What would that be? It does sound like a lot of lines. Using only straight lines to create a portrait. That's interesting. All right, I'm going to break away from just doing this minimal line now because there's such wonderful clear shapes in here. But I'm going to hatch with line, just some vertical lines to fill in some of the shadows. So I feel like with the really dark pen, those initial lines are really evident. But yeah, some of these shapes just I can't leave them. There's something that I felt was missing with Janelle and Marshall Rosenberg. That I set up these shapes, and then there was no value put into them. But sometimes it's good just to reduce things and focus on a certain thing. And so just doing that minimal line approach can also be really interesting. If people, hi, XO Miller, Xo Miller, Cho Miller, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Or it could be kiss hug. That's how in my family we indicate affection on paper with X's and O's. I have a very cool kids book called XO Ox, which is about that. But it's a very compelling username and little profile picture that you have. How to stop the brush pen from blobbing on the paper. Is that the water brush? Or you have a brush pen? I'm not sure. If it's a water brush, like this, if you've got too much of the liquid coming through, then it will be really wet. I was just thinking if anyone has like line artists that they really love, and you're on Instagram and you follow me, you could tag me in drawings of line work artists that you love. It'd be interesting just to collect different inspirations that people have associated with line. Lewis, your line work with the Janelle piece was so cool. It was just so good. Love that you're doing so many different things, Lewis, and so cool. I'm a fan. You could also share stuff on the Discord server, a great place for sharing. And someone shared something they're inspired by at the moment in the resources chat. And I was like, oh, what if there was an inspiration chat where people can just share work that they're really digging at the moment. And if anyone has any suggestions for the Discord server, different conversations, different categories that would be cool to add, there's already a lot going on. There's a feedback and love and critique chat. People share their work there, share their social media, to connect on different social media platforms, offer suggestions. Yeah, there is a suggestions tab. So if you have something that you think, oh, this would be really cool if we had this as well, then write that in the suggestions chat, because I'm really excited by the idea of the Discord server growing into something co-created with all of you. So there's the daily reference chat where people are sharing their work, but it could be all manner of things, and I would really love you to be part of it, like in coming up with the ideas as well, because there are a lot of you with a lot of good ideas. A brush pen with ink. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly. I've had nibs. That was the second 10 minutes is finished, and I'm feeling like this is good for today. Shannon is about to start live streaming, so head on over to draw some eyes with Shannon. Because Shannon knows things about drawing eyes. Yeah, this is fun. Thank you, Marsanne, for making such cool music, and that we were allowed to draw you. Everyone, go if you're into synth sampling, piano, accordion. Yeah, go check out Marsanne. That's it for today. Interesting. This is interesting. I feel like there was a moment where I kind of feel like, oh, there's not much more I can do, just like with the minimal idea of line, but having these two different tones to work with, I feel like that kind of opened it up into much more being able to represent different value and stuff. So that was cool. Big secrets will be revealed in Shannon's stream. Excellent. So everyone, head on over to Shannon's stream right now. Thank you so much for being here. Put your drawing hand emoji in the chat or in the comments section if you made it all the way to the end. You have a nice weekend, Tommy. All of you have a nice weekend. This was chilled. A very different quality to our conversation yesterday. But it's the space for the ebbing and flowing of inspiration and learning, and a different focus and a different opportunity with each face that we draw, a different conversation. And it's so wonderful to have you being part of the conversation. And so cool that you were here, Elizabeth Whitley, that you made it to the live. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you here tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.